53 of 2019 is a Kingfisher Science Encyclopedia, because I'm that sad. I got bought this book when I was a kid, like 20 years ago, probably more than 20 years ago, and I couldn't really read very well then, so I only ever kind of like dipped into it and had a look at it. I have very like few memories of even looking at it and reading it, to be honest, and I've had it for such a long time, and I was like, when I've been moving books from place to place, I've kind of thought, you know what, I'm going to read that one day, and I started it like last year, and I was like, it's just so boring reading an encyclopedia, because it's fine when you first start off because you're like, oh yeah, this is good, and then you kind of like get to about 8 pages in and you're like, this is really laborious, like reading like things that don't go together and a bit kind of random, because they're in obviously in alphabetical order rather than in like themes or whatever, which is more normal to put a book together because that's the way our brains work. But yeah, so then I ended up like, I've stolen time. I kind of like just stopped reading it, and then I was like, do you know what, I am going to do it. So like literally about like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I was like, you're gonna read 20 pages every single day, and I made myself do it, and I only missed a couple of days, and then I made myself do extra and stuff like that. So I got through it. I've read the whole encyclopedia. What's really, really good about it is it's obviously sectioned out into, I'm trying to think of a good page here, into like different kind of entries of what things are. It's all like pictures and there's different kind of bits to it, and then what's really good is it's got like try it yourself, which is really good for kids, which is obviously because I was bought this as a kid. So if you've got children, this is a really good encyclopedia to buy, because there's loads of science things that you can try with them that are quite easy to do, and it will develop their understanding in science, which is very useful. And it's got kind of like, it's all like nice and stuff, and I'm trying to find a page that I've just before, which is like where it goes into detail on one thing, so there, like for example geography there. So it is a science encyclopedia, but it touches on a lot of topics, a lot of different things that are considered within, you know, scientific disciplines. So you learn a lot about stuff, and what's nice is that when you get to the end, it starts kind of like connecting up, because for example there's entries about the solar system, and there's entries about like red dwarfs and white dwarfs and different bits of the solar system, so like Neptune and like Mars, all the planets and stuff. So there's kind of a bit of crossover, and then similar when he's talking about like the periodic table and like noble gases, that's really hard to say when you say it quick, and talking about like hydrogen and helium and how that's burnt on different, like on the sun, and it's just kind of like electrons and cathode ray tubes and silicon chips, and it kind of all kind of connects together because it's computers, and so yeah, it's really good. What I'd say is get an up-to-date version, because I think, where is it, like is it under computer? Cassette recorders are still in. I don't think they would kind of make it anymore with the I'm trying to find computer to show you what I don't think it was under computer. I can find it. Oh, here we go. This is a picture of a computer which looks absolutely nothing. I don't even know if you can see this. They even have floppy disks on it, so that's how old it is. And a lot of the descriptions of things, when it's talking about the technology stuff, is really out of date. But the rest of it, like obviously it's like history of science, so there's a lot of good stuff in it, a lot of like talking about Nobel Prize winners and stuff. So for example, like there's descriptions of the scientists that have kind of made contributions. Most of them have won Nobel Prizes. What I always find interesting is when more than one person wins the Nobel Prize because they've come up with the same discovery at the same time, but they don't know each other. I find that really, really interesting, that two people can come up with the same thing but not know each other at that point in history. I think that's really, really interesting. So yeah, I'd recommend reading an encyclopedia, because I feel like an egghead now. Jokes, I can't even remember anything, but I feel more informed in science. I know now how a pneumatic drill works, which I didn't know before, so that was really interesting. as I was reading it, like, I found out what an aqualung was, because I quite liked that band that sung one of the songs that was in Stranger. What was it? Was it called Stranger? Or Closer? Because he was a stranger, he was like spying on her. So yeah, read an encyclopedia, find out all about science. It was good. This is a rubbish review, isn't it? But I've done so many back to back that now I'm kind of getting a bit delirious. But yeah,